Welcome back, and today we are going to add some products to our invoice preview. So previously we've added this information about our customer. So now we need to filter out the product that belongs to the invoice, because now we have invoice one and we have the list of products that belongs to different invoices here. So what we need to do, we need to filter those products that belongs to specific invoice. So when we change the number of invoice in our invoice data, it will automatically add those invoice products here. To do that, we need to create the hidden sheet. Let's call it products, products. So in this tab, we want to filter those products that belongs to specific invoice. Okay, good. We need to write filter. Now we need to select the range of products. In our case, it's invoice products A to D. And the condition will be invoice products A to A equals invoice data B2. Yeah. So now we can see that we have only products that belongs to this first invoice. So if we go back here and change the invoice number to number 2, so it will display only products from the invoice number 2. Another thing we want to add here is subtotal of the product itself. So we have like the quantity and the price, but we don't have the subtotal for the product in this table. So we'll do it here. We simply will apply array formula, and we say that we want this data in C column multiplied by data in D column. One more thing to do, we want to apply the number format here. So because we have the amount, but it does not contain any currency value next to the number. So if you remember, in our settings tab we have currency format, and we want to apply it. We want to apply this for all the numbers in our product. So we'll simply write the array formula and say like we want to D and E columns, and so we want to say text. Now the settings, and the format is B14. Settings, right? Okay, good. Enter, and you can see that we have our number format applied. So if we'll change the number to 1, we see that it applies the number format. It separates thousands by comma, so everything works fine. One more thing to add here, we want to have the total amount of, like, the sum of all the products. So we want to see this sum. Okay, basically let's change for second invoice. It will be easier to work with smaller numbers. So what we want to do here, we want to see the sum of all the products, like the total. So we'll simply add the sum, and we'll sum the column. Okay. Next, we want to apply our VAT rate. So we will do this like this, and we'll multiply it by the VAT rate here. So we see that this showed us the VAT of the price of our products. Okay, and of course we want to have like the total sum for the invoice. So simply we want to sum these two values, and this will be the total for the invoice. And again, we want to apply the number format for these values. So we simply can say that array formula h1 to h3. Okay, and we want to apply like text, and here is settings B14, like this. Yeah, so basically we have the totals here and the number format, so the currency format is applied next to it. Okay, good, so that's it for this tab. Yeah, again, let's format. Let's go to the invoice preview and let's add those products here. So first, let's have headers for our products table. So let's call the items item. Next, basically what I want to do is I want to expand an A column and delete the B and C. So the product name will fit into this row, into this column. Okay, so we'll have like item. Here we'll have quantity, and this will be price and subtotal. Okay, so this is our headers, and below that we want to add those products here. Like we want to see the products rows, and below that we want to add like items total, VAT total, and invoice total. Also we want to have here the data, the invoice due date, and some text information, for example this info text that we want to include in our invoice preview. So this means that we need to do everything in the way that it should be applied dynamically whenever the number of items are changed. Okay, so first let's start. Again, let's use the filter. Here we want to item name, so let's say H products. Item name is in our B1B, where a column is more than 0. So this means that we want to select product names where this is more than 0. So it will not include the empty rows in our invoice preview. Okay, good. Next we want to add, we will apply the same filter for the quantity, and for the price we want to select the formatted number. So we'll take the data from F column. Then let's copy this. Okay, good. And for the subtotal we want to get data from G column. Again, let's copy this and let's add it here. G. Okay, good. Next we want to format it to be on the right, and the quantity data to be on the left. We now need to add this dynamic information about our items total. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we are going to apply, we'll copy this one and we'll apply it here. Okay, and we'll delete formula parse error. Yeah, so we now removed the formula from the quantity and added to the everything to one cell. Okay, good. Let's do the same with the price. Add comma and the price. Yep, and with the subtotal. Good. Now let's remove this subtotal, and we see that we have all the data applied to all our columns. What we want to do next is we want to apply new values. So we will do it. So imagine that this is like the filled rows, and to separate those we want to include additional row. And now we want to skip first column, so to be it an empty, and then we want to write the items total. Okay, then again we want to skip this, and let's write like 0 for now. So as you can see, it automatically added the items total under the products table. So if we'll change the invoice for number 1, so all the table of products is now, the number of product lines is now 3, and the items total automatically appears under the products. We need to replace this 0 with our formatted data. So we have like sum for our products, so it will be y1. Okay, again, let's change it to number 2. Okay, good. So let's add this h products y1. So we can see that it applies. Alright, so we did a mistake here. We actually need to sum E column. Yeah, so now the total is good. Yeah, so this is the total of items. Next, let's do the same for our VAT. So, new line. This will be empty. Here we'll add the VAT. And we want to also to show the percentage of our VAT. So we'll do it like this. Invoice data B5. Invoice data B5. And okay, good, empty, and here is H products Y2. Right, so oh yeah, so we have this, we want this to be formatted as a %. So we can do it like multiply by 100 and add the % sign here. Yeah, like this. Alright, next let's add invoice total here. So empty, invoice total empty, and this will be H products Y3. Yeah, so the invoice total, the sum of the products and VAT rate, so like invoice payable. Okay, so next we'll skip 2 lines and add the invoice due date and the info rows here. Okay, so again, okay, so, and basically we want to add the information about due date. So let's write the invoice due date is, and then apply our invoice data, and B4, invoice data B4, and again empty cells. Okay, and we can see that it just takes the date and applies it as a number, so we need to apply our date format from here. So again, text, settings, what was the number? 15. Okay, settings B15. Alright, what's wrong? Don't get it. Oh, okay. B15. Yeah, so now we have this date format applied to our date, and next we need to add this info to our invoice, so it will be B12. So again, okay, settings B12 and 3 empty cells. Good. Okay, so as you can see, our invoice is ready, so it's dynamic, it applies all the data automatically. Few more things here. So first of all, again, let's remove those unused columns, and I'll remove also extra rows here. There is no worry about those rows. When you add lots of like extra products, it will automatically expand this invoice data. One more thing, I would like to reformat it a bit, so I want to have those rows bigger, so resize a bit. Okay, let's do this like 30. Okay, good. And again, let's have all those at the middle. Okay, and here I want to apply like the border button, the border below this, and actually we're good to go. So if we click Ctrl P, we can see how our invoices look like. Alright, so now we see that looks a bit weird. No worries, let's format it a bit, so we don't need the grid. And We want it to be the portrait. This is how our invoices look like when we'll send it to our customer or print it out. So at the moment it's fully automated invoice generator, and in the next lesson we will add the sales tab where we will be able to add those invoices that we are generating to the table, so we can manage invoices in one place, and also we will send this invoice to our customer using email function. So stay tuned. If you like this part, please hit like. Also write down your comments, opinions or questions. Thank you and bye.